Hello, and welcome back. My name is Jackblade, and this is my channel. We're playing Satisfactory today. So another episode of the Beginner's Guide. Yeah, this is episode 15, and I'm gonna start with addressing some stuff that came up in the comments of the episode 14. Number one was about this, and I'm going to apply this, and we will see if it works. What they said was that if I have, instead of each specific item, if I just have an undefined any here, it's still going to accurately sort everything on the right output. And if this gets blocked, like if this gets too much, it's not going to get... Yeah. See, this is my point. This is what happens. So, yeah. This is... this is not what I wanted to happen, but it should be sending quartz, silicon, copper sheet here, and then sending everything else on ahead, which it does not. Okay, if I have any undefined, specifically, not any, just any undefined, then it seems to be working. So yeah, okay, then it's me who has not just learned something new from the comments. That's really good. Yeah, okay, so any and any undefined are two different settings. Did not know this. Now I know. That's really good. So let's see. Is there anything else I'm getting from this? Because I have done some changes. I've set up some new stuff. So rotors, screws, AI limiters. I think you might actually need to have like some lighting up there for me to be able to see properly. There we go. And then we have all the stuff that we need coming in. As you can see, I have actually like fixed the Western factory as well. So now the train station Western out is up and running and brings stuff in. And we will see how everything balances out. But the way that I see it, this stuff should run out. We are not getting like a full load from the Western factory anymore, or from the starter factory. As you can see, like we hadn't even gotten one of the items. Which one is that? That's interesting. I need to check that out because we can't have something not coming in. Which item is that is not being produced right now? It's the fourth car from the back. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I am not getting metal plates or iron plates. That is not... That's not good. That is not good. Let's go over to the starter factory and see what's going on there. Is it just that I am not producing enough? Because if that's the case, I can just overclock a couple of machines. But otherwise, something must be wrong with the settings over here. Either way. Second thing that was brought up is people were huffing and puffing about how 15 car stations are super inefficient. And I have responded to those comments. I will respond again, and I will say, I know. I am aware. They are not supposed to be super efficient. They are supposed to make sure that I don't have to run 8 trains to keep myself... for those who don't know, the optimal is for 4 cars. It's 4 like segments. 1, 2, 3, 4. After this, you add another station, and then you keep going. So you have more trains instead. For me to feed the HQ, I would require 8 trains. 8 trains on this tiny little segment of railway would create a traffic blockage. And I don't really want to do that. Plus, people who also were saying like, hey, a 15-car train on a 2-meter incline, which is what is over here, this 2-meter incline, won't be able to go up without like multiple train like locomotives pushing it up or dragging it up the hills. That is fine. The trains are always empty when they go up these hills. So that's also something to keep in mind. I haven't made this to be super efficient. I have made this to, one, not have to have a ton of trains out running, because we will, in the end of this save, have a lot of trains out running. We want to have as few as possible to prevent blockages and having to make a bunch of bypass systems to keep the trains running and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's basically why I have done that. And also remember, those 30 items coming over there, that's not even the full amount of items that are used in building stuff. Normally you have a lot more for like being able to build every single thing in the game. But if we follow this, let's see what happens with our iron plates. They are all hooked up here. Then they go under. Our iron plates are being made under here. I think here, yes. Here they are. It's a smart splitter, and they go up to be made into reinforced iron plates, all of them. Okay, so that's why. And what we can do to fix that, because we want iron plates, we need them to be able to build stuff, is we can just add in a 50% boost to all of these, so that we get 50% more iron plates, right? But now we're not getting enough iron, so okay, where do we get the iron? We get the iron from here. Then we add in the same boost, 50% to all of these, to have a uniform boost, boobadoo. And because of that, we are making more, which means that the belts won't be able to take it. So we upgrade the belts to belt Mark III. We upgrade this to a Mark III. And then there we go. Now the belts are upgraded. Let's see, will the belts be able to take everything coming out? 30, 30, 30, 30, that's 120, and that's a Mark II. So yes, it will be able to. It's not going to be enough over here. If we look, it needs 20, 20, and what? Okay, 30, 30, 20. Okay, so I've underclocked over here. So that is, it needs 80 per minute, which means we're still 40 in the positive that will go there. Yep. And we still need enough iron coming in. And that should be coming in correctly. So 45 makes 45. 45 times 4 is 190. These belts can't take that, so let's upgrade these to Mark III as well. That's a very simple way of looking at this. Let's see. Now it's going to start reducing here, which is not what we want. So let's continue upgrading all the way back to the miner that actually deals with this, and overclock that as well. So Let's fix that all the way over. Let's see, Mark III. Then we want the Mark III belts. That I need to fix. That is clipping I'm not okay with. Boom. There we go. So if I add in this, that's 180. Now we are matched again. So now we should be getting more iron plates. Easy fix there to this whole thing. Let me just fix this. I can't have this clipping here. I'm just gonna remove this entirely. Let this be the only support pillar there. That's gonna be fine. But yeah, then the iron plates are fixed. So then we did the station over here, or I did that like between episodes. My goal was to have both the Western factory and the Northern factory set up before this episode started, but I didn't really have time to do all of that prep work, so here we are. I've basically just fixed this. What I have done is made it so that the 6 items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items, then the 7th is only for the empty canisters. And here's a change that I need to make for this factory, actually. Let's go in. We're going in, I think up here. We're going... No, wait, we're going in on the logistics floor here. This is where we fix this stuff. Okay, so for now, we've made it so that that's an overflow. And this is the center output, right? So what we want to do now is we want to change this to any and this to overflow, right? So that we prioritize sending stuff to the train. That's basically the goal. And then if we have any overflow, it's split to go into the storage here. And then, no, sorry, overflow. And then the, you can just copy and paste this. Then, if we have any overflow, it can also go into the sink. Which shouldn't happen, right? So, once the train station is full, it will go and split into the sink or into the storage. All of the storages are full, and we're sending stuff to the HQ before we store it here. This is really good. So what I'm going to do now, after this, is actually go on and move the rail line out to keep building this like I talked about in episode 14 and set up for Northern Factory, because there is an additional function that the Northern Factory has, or the station there has, that I want to use for the next big project, which is the Turbofuel generation, power generation, which it will also produce the rubber and the plastic that we want to, and fuel, like rubber, plastic, fuel, that we will need for the entire end game section. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, starting out this episode with a little bit of fixes here and addressing some stuff with the comments. Also, for those who are like critical of the game itself in the comments, go right ahead. I don't really care. I love the game. Are there flaws? Yes. Will I bring those flaws up here? No. My point is to create a positive experience of Satisfactory, and some of those things, if I bring them up, they will only make you not be able to unsee them, and for some people who are sensitive to some of this stuff, what it will happen is they will never play the game again because they can't unsee that. So I'll bring that up. And so if you want a critique of Satisfactory, not going to be in the beginner series, like at all. I love the game. Does it have its problems? Yes. I won't bring them up here. Just so you keep that in mind. So there's no use asking me for that stuff here. You can ask me for a video talking about it. That's fine, but not in the beginner series. So yeah, let's move on and set up the northern factory and move on to our next big project. And here we are. We are now set up with the final station here. And this literally only brings in one item, which is the heavy modular frames. And what we will be doing after this, and I will show you what the special secondary purposes has is, which is that these first 4 here are going to be dedicated to bringing in sulfur to our to make compacted coal. So if we look at what we're going to be producing, and oh, another slug. Like I've been obsessed with. I need like so many power shards for this. Okay, so over here in the north, up here, is where I am prepping to bring in all of the oil and all of the oil and all of the coal and all the sulfur that we need to create this monstrosity of a factory. You can see in my notes there on the right side of the screen that we're going to need 120 refineries that makes rubber. We're going to need 11 overclocked 250% water extractors for this factory. We need 32 fuel blenders because we were making diluted fuel. We're not making the normal one. We're making the alternative recipe diluted fuel. Then we are making 35 plastic refineries that uses rubber because we're making what's it called? My brain is just blanking here. We are making recycled plastic is the recipe we're using. And it uses fuel and rubber to create plastic. So that's one of the reasons why we need the fuel. The other reason is why we also need the 58 compacted coal assemblers. By putting in coal and sulfur, we get compacted coal, which we will be using and mixing together with the fuel to make turbofuel. We're in 96 turbofuel refineries. And in these 96 turbofuel refineries, the total amount we will be making is 1,800 cubic meters of turbofuel, which will then go into 134 overclocked fuel generators to create over 50,000 megawatts of power, which is the entire point here. One of the things that we have to keep in mind is my own like private note that I have for myself so I don't forget. Blockage will happen from the heavy oil residue that happens when I make the rubber because it's heavy oil residue and water that works in the fuel blenders to make diluted fuel. That heavy oil residue is mixed with the compacted coal to make the turbo fuel, or that fuel, sorry. But what will happen is I'm not using the full amount of the heavy oil residue. So I will have backing up happening in the rubber refineries and specifically in the rubber refineries. And this will happen because we're not using the full amount. This will only block how much plastic and how much rubber is being made. We're still going to be able to make all of the fuel and all of the turbo fuel that we need for this until I can get canisters, empty canisters to grab the rest, put into, and then sink, which will happen later. We can't make all of the stuff that we want before we have the power generation set up. That's why we're starting with that. But yeah, I've started preparing here, as you can see. There is one fuel pump down there. There's another 2 over here. As you can see here, there's 150 coming from that one, 150 coming from that one, which is 300. And then you have another 300 coming from this one when it's overclocked, which means that when I combine that pipe with this, I have one 600 pipe. We need a total of 3,600 raw, like crude oil coming into this. So if we look at what we have, if I go and I scan, I don't think we're going to be able to see all of them. Let's just open up so we can see resources. We have 3 of them here. There's another one there. As you can see, if we fly over here, there is a bunch of them. Over here is where I have even more set up. This part of the map is just one massive fuel like section. So yeah, and there's another couple of them over here, there, and there, and we will need all of this and then some. Like, there's not enough oil here, so we will actually be bringing in oil from over here as well. Here we go. So here is another 3 nodes, one there, and one over here. Plus, like, and this is still not enough. This is still not all the oil that we need, even if they are fully overclocked. No, we will also be needing 4 nodes coming in from over here. Let's see, here they are. Yes, 4 more nodes coming in from over here. That's a little bit of a beastie over there. I've set the animals to be... Okay, I need to pick up motors as well. But basically, we will be bringing in 3,600 oil. I think we will have a little bit more than 3,600 because of these 4. I think it's going to be like 4,200 something, which to me is just fine. That means that I can easily just compensate and overcome the bugginess of the Mark II pipes. So yeah. But then what we also need to bring in is coal. So we need 1,440 coal, which, if I remember correctly, you have coal as a pure there, that's 780. That's a normal one. Then you have 2 pures here. And I think that only like the 2 pures here is going to be enough. But yeah, we'll be belting in 1,440 coal, and we will be belting in 1,440 sulfur. And that sulfur, that's why we have an extra part, like function of the station over here. We will bring that in via train, because all the sulfur is pretty far out. If we look on the map, we have 3 nodes here, 1 normal, 1 impure, and then another normal. So that's 600, that's 1,200. We're counting on using like Mark III miners here as well, just so you know. So I'm going to be unlocking more stuff. All of this is counted with Mark V belts and Mark III miners. That's the resource gain that I'm looking at. So that's 300, 600, 600. So what we're going to get is 1,500 from these. We're going to get all that we need. We're going to bring that into this station. This station over here. I think we can take all of it in one freight car, but I will be setting up a probably I'll set up like a single car train that goes down here, turns right over here, and then goes down, and then goes once it hits the junction on like the 90-degree bend over here, that goes down like this. It will go down. I will have a station set up. Oh yeah, I'm also doing MAM research to unlock all of the research, like the alternative recipes that we need. But yeah, like around here, give or take, I will set up a station that brings in the sulfur so that I can easily feed this beast of a machine with all of the resources, raw resources that it needs to create everything. We won't have time to do all, like, today it's basically just like trying to get to the point where we are actually bringing in all of the resources that we want to, and like belting it in and putting it in by train and everything, so that we have it in this actual, like, what's it called? So that we have them running into this is the logistics floor, the first level logistics floor. And I also want to make sure that I have like blueprints and everything set up. I want to clear out, like, there's so many slugs around here, like power slugs. If you want to find power slugs, come to this area of the map and literally walk anywhere. Like one there, and then if I back up a little so that it despawns, you can see there's one purple there, there's a blue one there, there's a yellow one there. Like they are literally, there's another yellow one there. You will not necessarily need an object detector, but if I just go to slugs, like I will constantly find slugs. You will never not. There's a purple one there. You will always find slugs somewhere around here. If you just, for this belt here, like this entire section, if you spend an hour here, you will probably find enough slugs to feed everything except like a full, like every single machine I've ever built will be fully overclocked. Like if you try to do that kind of build or that kind of save, then you might not find enough here. Otherwise, you definitely will, and I can vouch for that because if you look in my inventory, I have done some of the slug finding, and I have a few hundred. I need 400 to feed the power generation in the turbofuel generators or fuel generators. So yeah, I have enough power shards for the rest of the save here. So that's also a good reason why you're up here, because you don't have to go far to find all the slugs you need to build a massive power factory. So yeah, 100%. This is the place to be when you're building this level of power generation from a turbofuel factory. So I'm going to keep belting in. I'm going to keep, like, this is literally just busy work, so I'm not necessarily going to show you with that until I'm done. But or I might bring you in like a little bit to show you what I've done, like in at a midpoint kind of thing. So yeah, then we can see what's going to happen at the end of all of this. And I like, my goal is at least put down the 120 rubber refineries so that you guys can see like the majesty of like that amount of just like all of those machines. That's something that I want to show you guys. So yeah, that's the goal for the episode. Let's see if we can keep belting in and piping in all the resources and keep eradicating power slugs from this region. And we will meet each other in a few seconds for you guys and a few hours for me. So there we go. All the oil is coming in. Yeah, this is all of it. This is all we need. I mean, we also need that, but it looks nicer like this. So I haven't necessarily hooked up all the power and everything yet. So not everything here is working the way it should. What I've created here is a technical fluid buffer system that also doubles as a pipe balancer. Oh, autosave is hitting. Everything's frozen. Ah, there we go. Perfect. So with this, we will have 6 times 600 cubic meters of oil. That's 3,600 per minute, which is what we need. I've also brought in 1,560 coal per minute. It should be 1,440. And then the same thing here is like 1,500 exactly. Sulfur should be 1,440. So we are a little bit above what we need, but that is fine. So if we look on the right side of the screen with our stuff here, what we can then cross out is this. We can cross out this, and we can cross out this. So let's go over how we're bringing shit in. First, sulfur comes in through the train, like this little boy here, that goes over to this station and picks it up over there. There's one node up there, and then there's 2 nodes down there, and it brings in all 3. It's like collects them into the station or the freight platform, and then it brings them over here and it comes out here. And I've also like made some like buffer storages here. so that when we start running with everything, there's going to be no problem making sure that everything is saturated, which is also kind of the point here. These are still closed, these valves. They're closed so that I make sure that all of these are going to be absolutely chock full of oil, which they are not. Why is that? It's because these aren't actually running yet. Once they are running, we will get all the oil going all the way that we need. So yeah, then that's going to be the pressure that we need for pretty much the rest of the oil or like rubber production. So what's left? Well, you can see here I've been running around and starting to set up the power for some of this oil being pumped. And then once I've started, I'm not done. I've been cleaning up some of the concrete that I don't need and everything. So right now I'm just going to continue powering everything up, and then what we are going to do is we are going to place 10 of these. That's the wrong one. We're going to place 10 of these. Boom. As you can see, this is 12 refiners that all make rubber. Where they should be. Have I forgotten to set the recipes? That would be such a typical me thing. Yep, I've forgotten to set the recipes. Okay, so I'll fix that as well. But basically, this is going to be... We're going to make 120 of these, and this is how we finish off today's episode. By having placed all of them. This is not going to be placed on a single line or anything like that. But we will have them up here. So there will be like an ocean of refiners going around here. I do not like that artifacting over there, so let's start the fog again. That looks a lot better. And yeah, so what I will be doing is continuing to make sure everything is powered up. Everything has the stuff that it needs, and that I have a... Like, I'm gonna set one of these so that I have the power... This one, actually. So that I have the power set here with a priority power switch, so I can turn the factory on and off. And remember, this one is going to have a high priority. Let's see, priority power switch. We're going to have that here. Because this is a power generation facility as a primary thing. So it basically goes priority group 1. And then I am going to rename this oil refinery slash Redux. There we go. So that in this, it's now all refineries generators. So very clear what that is, and that's the power that's going to go into the factory. So let's head on over and power everything else up that needs power. So there we go. We got it. All of the power, all of the oil, everything is hooked up and it's coming in. And this should be a good sign. This should mean that all of these pipes are perfectly full. And when they are, perfect. When they are, what we do is we let the fluid buffers fill up. Because when we're working with systems like this, we don't want any sloshing back and forth. And one of the best ways of doing that is make sure that the system is tippy-toppy full with oil or whatever liquid you're working with, so that now these valves are closed and we're waiting for these to fill up, which they can only hold 400, so that's going to be pretty quick. Either way, and that's going to be for the next episode. This episode, we are prioritizing putting down our 120 rubber refineries. And I have elected to split them up in segments of 10 instead of the original 12 I was thinking. The reason for that is 6 pipes, 120 refineries. That's 20 refineries per pipe. So this was just an easy way for me to make sure that I can have, like, I put 2 blueprints per segment. So to make that easy, what I do is I will literally just find the what's it called? The foundation edge, like this. Foundation edge, and then I'm gonna place this down, and then I'm switching build mode to blueprint, and then let me see if I can. Boop boop. There. Okay, I've messed up. So I forgot to finish editing this. Yeah, so I'll be right back in a second. I need to edit my blueprint again. We are back, and this time it should be working as intended. So let's try this again. We're looking for the foundation edge here. Perfect. Boom. There. Let's place it and see if we can get it right this time. All right. And it's the wrong direction, so we flip it. Perfect. Now, can I? Yep, I can. Perfection. I'll just remove one of these doubled up pillars and everything is fine. So here's one segment of 20 refineries, and we are putting out 6 of these. So we will literally just try and get a nice separation between things. Like, I don't want to have to mess around moving a bunch of the already existing logistics, right? So, for example, if I try to put it here, if you look here, I would have to move the conveyor belts here for this to work. I don't want to do that, so that's why I'm not going to be placing them just next to each other. Instead, what I will be doing is I will be messing around trying to find these, like, spots, right? Like this, for example, where here, right, where none of the pipes, none of the logistics in existence is being messed with, and I have space here so that I can run pipes with the oil in, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna place it there, and then I'm gonna use blueprint mode to make sure that, oh, that was definitely not the right direction. Holy, I didn't even know I could spin them that way. Okay, there we go. And then I will flip you so you are in the right orientation. Move you in so that you are touching. Remove one pipe from each side here so that they don't overlap. That's 40 refineries. Okay. So let's place down an additional 20. Let's see how that looks if I place that over here. Is that messing with anything? It is not. Perfect. Let's just flip it so that we have the front facing here. And place it. Let me double check here that the conveyors are pointing the right direction. Yes, they are. There we go. Blueprints. And the white arrow down here is the right direction. So let's just move in. Remove one pillar from each side here. Boom. That's half of our refineries placed. So what I'm thinking now is I am going to go for blueprints. Gonna place another segment here in the middle, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of space. Like that. And then that one is pointing. Now it's pointing the right direction. Boom. That's 80. Very, very nice. This is starting to look like some monstrosity here. This is very, very nice. I like the scale of this. And let's give it another bit of space. And that's a bit too much space. Let's go for H. Arrow is pointing in the right direction. Let's just move it a little bit closer. We'll say that's enough. There, right? All right. Then we... All right, let me just double check. Arrow is in the right direction. Yep. And let's place that arrow is in the right direction. Nudge it in. Boom. And boom. That means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 100 refineries. Let's get the last 20 in on this edge over here. And here, can't afford. Oh, I don't have copper sheets. All right. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go pick up some copper sheets. I am back. There we go. Let's place out our final 20. And that's the wrong direction. That's the right direction. So let's move you up a little bit. Let's put you there. And then nudge. Boom. Perfect. And I would have worked this out like as detailed and everything as I did with the computer factory, but I really didn't have the luxury. Like I talked before, I'm gonna cut a lot of corners because I want to get as far as possible in the game and show you guys as much as possible of the game mechanics before 1.0 drops. So yeah, now we see 120 refiners that are going to make rubber. Very, very, very nice. Yeah, we're going for the big stuff now. So with that, I'm going to start with crossing out this perfection. And to follow that up, I am going to end off today's episode. I need to make sure that I edit this and get it up today as well. It's Sunday. I'm going to get this episode up before I go to bed. But what's important here is that we've started. This is the end game, Dad. This is the end game. We're there. We are doing it. That is amazing, in my opinion. For everyone who's followed me from the start or like catching up or anything, like you have a grasp of how much work it's taken to get here if you have also been trying to play along. Or if you've played before, you know what it takes to be able to do this amount of infrastructure and everything and have the resources and power and everything to be able to do this. And I am very much looking forward to see what we can do once this factory is up and running and we can start making the really big stuff, because this is going to be 50,000 plus megawatts of power being like produced just here, just in this factory. So yeah, if you liked this episode, if you enjoy it, feel free to hit the like button. all engagement is super helpful for me in on YouTube, and it shows me that this is something that you want me to keep on doing. So please, if you like it, hit the like button, give me a subscribe, and tell me what's your favorite part about the upcoming 1.0? Like, what do you look forward to the most of, like, re-experiencing for the first time or discovering about the new stuff that are coming? So yeah, with that in mind, have a great Sunday evening, and I will see you guys again on Tuesday in the next tips and tricks video. I will also be doing some playing of Crust, and I will probably make videos of that. Probably a small series to see how well it performs and how fun I think the game is. And then I will have another video in the beginner series out on Thursday, and then another one on Sunday. So yeah, we have a chock full week coming up. So I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great time, and love you guys. Have a good time. Bye.